Hey y'all, it's Michelle, and I am coming to you fresh-faced first thing in the morning just to do this live stream about what exactly I would do if I had to start over today with with nothing but my laptop, right? So no followers, no media, no nothing, right? Just me and my laptop starting fresh today. And I also want to announce a quick little, like maybe 3 or 4 day contest on how you can win a free ticket to Women Who Wow Live in Richmond, which is happening in October, and not just a free ticket to attend, but also have your hotel covered as well. So really excited about that. I really appreciate the question that has been coming in about, what would I do, right? Like in these various situations, and what would I do if, I was still struggling financially month to month? What decisions would I make sort of back then, or in the case of where the questions are coming from, like what would I do if I was just in a different position, if I had to start right now from scratch? And I really appreciated this question. It was a little bit confronting to me. And so not that the people asking were confronting to me, but it was a little bit confronting because I really, I live in such a way that I really don't have any regrets, right? It's not that I don't do things maybe I should regret. I just don't entertain regrets. I truly love where I am, even though I do look back and realize that I probably took the winding path to get here. I do really love where I am, and so I don't entertain regrets that often. Let me move this over so I can look at my notes. But during this training, I'm going to go over what I would keep the same, what I would change, and what my day-to-day would look like. And then we'll get to the contest where you can win a free ticket to Women Who Wow Live, including your hotel stay in Richmond, Virginia, completely covered. So what would I keep the same if I had to start today? Just me and my laptop. And just as a quick aside, my parents bought me my first laptop. It was not a MacBook, obviously. I don't even know if they had them back then, but I went to this Christian conference called She Speaks, and I had this idea for a book, and my parents gave me a laptop, and it changed everything for me. And so it's one of the best gifts I've ever given. I need to probably bring it up to them again, but it changed everything because it allowed me to go to the YMCA and get my 2 hours of free childcare and sit outside in the lobby and work while someone else had my kids, and they played and they had fun and they were together. And so it really started changing things. It started shifting things and allowing my business to be more flexible and portable, which is exactly what I want, what I want in a business. So what would I keep the same? I would still start out with zero money, right? Zero money coming in, zero trust fund, all of that. And the reason that I would do this, and I would actually start out and be grateful for it. When I began my business, I had no money. I had $213 in savings. I took 50 of it to start my business, and I always felt like it was a disadvantage. And on this side of things, I'd still start over with no money, but I'd be grateful for it because having no money in my business actually made me learn how to sell very, very quickly, right? Because I didn't have any time to waste on like branding crap or like funnels. Like I had to sell like right away, and or email lists. And we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have lead pages. I didn't have a website, right? But so I'd still start out with zero money because it helped me learn what the real essentials were in business, and it allowed me, out of necessity, definitely, but it allowed me to strip away all of the BS that you learn in business. It allowed me to recognize and dismiss fluff and BS. So I'd still start with zero money. What else would I keep the same? I would still blog under my own name, right? And this is something I really danced with for a long time. For a little while, you guys might remember, I did blog under the PlanetWOW.com umbrella. And it was really before I knew what Women Who Wow was going to be. I actually probably need to take those articles and put them somewhere on Be Michelle Pippin. But I'd still blog under my own name because it gives me the flexibility to talk marketing and sales and mindset and mental toughness and women entrepreneurs, anything that I'm really passionate about. Having that umbrella might be Michelle Pippin. It's just me. It's more of a personal brand, and that gives me some freedom that I really appreciate in my business. I'd still have taken this client that I had. Back when I did HR work, I had a client who was probably one of the absolute worst clients to ever have in your business. He slept with anything that walked except me, obviously, any female that walked. He even, all his employees he was sleeping with. And I would go into this office, and I literally one time found one of the male employees like slumped over at the desk with his penis out, like in a napkin, looking at whatever he was looking at on the internet. He had passed out. But I'd still had taken that client because he exposed me to not only his penis, but this client exposed me to Dan Kennedy, and he paid, I think this was way back when. I think CJ was definitely an infant, but he exposed me to Dan Kennedy. He spent about $18,000 a month back then in various like business coaching programs, et cetera, and it changed my world. So I would definitely have still taken him on as a client because that exposure to that kind of thinking and that kind of business strategy just really changed everything for me. So I would definitely still have taken that client despite all of the other crap I had to put up with. And I say that because, I want people to do whatever it takes to get access to higher level thinking and more deliberate strategy and all of this. I want you to do what it takes to get that information. And for me at that time, I had the best of the best, access to the best of the best. And he wasn't using his programs. And so I asked, like, hey, can I use them? And so it's like, no wonder I stayed there, because I had this coaching and training that was worth way more than the $18,000 a month he was paying for it. So those are the things I would keep the same if I had to start today. But what would I change? And obviously I would do everything a lot sooner if I had to start over today. I did take a very long and winding path to where I am. I had a bunch of stories about why I did that. Like, my kids were young. I, didn't want to travel. Like, I had all sorts of stories. And so I took the winding path. I do everything sooner, but specifically I'd have gone national faster. I stayed local like way too long, and actually, like, for people who are local to me and have been in the Women Who Wow, like Hampton Roads kind of thing, they know I went kicking and screaming away from that model. I loved it. And frankly, if I didn't get pissed off at the local market, I'd still be there. And so I'm so grateful. But I got mad because, people, the meetings came with their membership, and so they didn't like pay extra for them. And I thought that was a good thing to do. And they would like text or email, 10 minutes before the meeting. So I'm sorry, like something came up, this came up. And so then, of course, I had turned people away because I always limited my meetings, and had turned people away, and I was just like, ugh, I was so frustrated. And that is what really forced me kind of to say, it's not even fair to have local meetings. A very small percentage of my members are local and blah, blah, blah. But I would have done that sooner. I would have gone national a lot faster. I would have stopped the whole local game a lot sooner. Even though the friendships and the relationships there are super precious to me, I would have stopped it a lot sooner. I would have made a daily habit from day one, showing up every single day. But not only that, I would have shown up as a leader, someone who should be followed online. And that's a mindset shift that I've adopted deliberately, but I would have done that from day one. I could have done it at any time, right? And somehow I feel like I had this for years in my business. I had this idea that I'd be somehow crowned by someone else as like worthy of being followed online, worthy of gathering a tribe. And then, eventually I just kind of crowned myself. And so I would have shown up as a leader, like from day one, and then shown up again on day 2 and day 3 and day 4, and just continuously showed up as someone who should be followed online. I would have done some mindset work way earlier. I cannot tell you, and I can't tell you the difference that's made in my business because I'm a smart girl and I'm a hard worker. And so, breaking six figures without like a bunch of mindset work was, that's natural to me. But I was stuck, and I was stuck just up here because I had these stories in my mind about work and hard work and easy money in general, right? Riches in general. I had all these stories, and I didn't even realize it because, what was it really holding me back from? Except that I just knew I could look at my business and I could feel the momentum, and it was almost like I had the cap on it. And I was like pushing it down, and I wouldn't let it out. And I can't explain what it is because I didn't even realize it at the time. It wasn't greed. It wasn't need even at that point. It was it was just a knowing that there was something more, and it was me that was pushing it down. And so I would have done the mindset work way earlier to break through my own self-imposed ceilings, right? Like I would have done that way, way earlier, and just to make business and sales and money and all of it so much easier. I'd have immediately secured some media instead of waiting to see like when I was ready for media. I'd have kept selling and building my coaching gym. Back in the day. As you guys know, that's a big regret of mine. If I entertain regrets, that's the one I entertain. It was a huge, it was my first like membership offer, and it was very profitable, and I loved it. It was like basically email coaching. People loved it. They got amazing results from it. And I don't know where it came from, but I was traveling a lot back then, and I really felt like it was like slowing me down, and so anyway, I would have definitely kept that, and I would have published a book sooner. By the way, you can look for the Women Who Wow Manifesto, which will be completed by me and get to the editors in about a week, and I'm actively working on that, and I'm very, very excited. And everybody will get a copy of this at the Women Who Wow Live in Dallas, Women Who Wow Live in Richmond. And I'm very excited about that. But let's move on to what my day-to-day would look like if I were starting from scratch right now. No list, no following, nothing like that. So what would my day-to-day look like? I can tell you that my mornings would look exactly how they look now. Like, I feel like I'm still very much getting started with building Women Who Wow. I still feel very much at the beginning of this process. And I know for some people that looks like it's crazy, but it's not. I still very much feel like we're in our infancy stage as an organization, as a business, as a tribe, as a community. I know we're at the very beginning. We're still in the seed stage of that. And so maybe, I guess this was such a good training because I am sort of just starting out today. I really feel that way. And so as I prepared to do this training, I realized that exactly what I would do today if I started over actually led to a couple commitments from me of what I will do starting today. So my mornings would look exactly how they do now. Sorry, my nose is itching, and I've been like coughing a lot in this room. It's been not good, but anyway. So I would Bible, I would journal, I do the daily messaging, I'd show up as leader. That's how my mornings look right now, and that's how they would look if I were starting over, just me and my laptop. I would be published someplace else every single week, once a week at a minimum. I used to have a better commitment to this, and I kind of slacked off there, but I would definitely make that commitment. And in fact, I did make that commitment to myself as I was preparing just for this live stream. And so I absolutely will be published someplace else, not be Michelle Pippin, published someplace else once a week. Media is big. It starts to shift things in your business. And so if you haven't reached out to Diane White about Media Insiders, I don't get a dime whether you do it or not. There's no kickbacks to me. But if you want media, and I think you should, then this program is like a total no-brainer, 3-month program, and she's like literally daily in this Facebook group and helping people. And anyway, it's a good program, and I'm in it myself. So Diane White, if you can't find her, email me. But I'm going to be doing that, being published elsewhere once a week. I'd also, if I were starting over, like what my day would look like today, I would bring everything under the Women Who Wow umbrella. And so this is something I've done, and my day-to-day would look different because I would only sell access to me via VIP days and strategy sessions, and which is where I am now. And I will no longer accept any private clients. Not that I do not fully and 100% love the clients that I'm working with now. I truly do, but purely from a monetary standpoint. I will only accept VIP days and strategy sessions for private access to me. And the reason for this is not, I've kind of gotten rid of any hint of problem clients, right? Because I was realizing that all my stress came from clients, not that my client's business, not my own business. And so I've gotten rid of any hint of that. So I have clients that I'm fully aligned with and that I really love. But the strategy sessions and the VIP days are more aligned not only with what I want and how I want to live my life, but also with my own little sliver of genius. And so I would definitely, that's how my sales funnel would work. Essentially, everything would come under Women Who Wow, and the only private access to me would be VIP. I'd also make all of my work, every bit of my work, about empowering women to stop compromising on what they want. And of course, I'd start with myself, because I did a lot of compromising in my early years in business, and even in my later years in business, because I had that mindset of like everything being a trade-off. And so I expected it and I embraced it. And so, and from now on, this is another commitment I've made. Like all of my work, all of my writing, all of my media, all of it will be about empowering and celebrating women to stop compromising and to create the business and the life that they really want. So let me, and I'll start with myself, obviously. Let me tell you how you can win a free ticket to Women Who Wow Live, Richmond, Virginia. For the next week or so, I'm going to be including our theme for Women Who Wow Live in Richmond. I'm going to be including the theme in every single post. I actually started this yesterday, so it's already in the post from yesterday. And if you can guess the theme, then you can PM me and you'll be entered to win a free ticket to our 2-day signature event. But not just a free ticket, also have your hotel fees covered, so that you get to Richmond, you stay on me, and it's all free. So all you have to do is guess our theme and you will be entered to win a free ticket. So I know people loved Women Who Wow Live in Dallas. And if you love that, you will be smitten with what we have planned for Women Who Wow Live in Richmond. So very, very excited about it. You can guess the theme. You can start back from yesterday, and I'll post again today, of course, and I'll post every day for the next few days. And if you will PM me and let me know what you think the theme is going to be, then I'll enter you to win in this drawing. So looking forward to seeing what your guesses are for the theme for Women Who Wow Live Richmond. Looking forward to your questions and or your feedback, your comments on what I would do if I was starting over today from scratch, just a girl with her laptop. And just really love you guys, and looking forward to being back home. I realize that I'm much more inspired when I am at home on my deck, which is where I usually do my mindset work, and my journaling, and my writing, and my messaging, and all that. So I am a homebody. I cannot even overstate that. So looking forward to getting back home, looking forward to hearing from you guys, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.